Imagine for a moment that every word you speak could become a weapon or a trap. A single sentence spoken at the wrong time can destroy a relationship, ruin an opportunity, reveal your weaknesses, or give your enemies exactly what they were hoping for. Yet the strongest people aren't those who talk the most. They are those who know precisely when to remain silent. In our time, when everyone feels the need to give their opinion on everything, when social media rewards impulsive reactions, and when noise seems to have replaced reflection, silence has become a rare skill. And like any rare skill, it gives an immense advantage to those who master it. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius already understood this truth. Despite his immense power, he didn't seek to respond to every provocation. He knew that some battles are won with words, but the most important ones are won through silence. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It is often the highest form of self-control. If you learn to remain silent in the 7 situations we'll explore today, you'll avoid many unnecessary conflicts, protect your inner peace, and develop a presence that naturally inspires respect. Stay until the end because the last situation is the one most people overlook. Yet it's probably the one that most profoundly transforms a life. Let's begin. The first situation where you must learn to remain silent is when someone is deliberately trying to provoke you. Some people don't want to discuss things, they simply want an emotional reaction. They know that by pressing on your wounds, they can make you lose your temper. As soon as you react angrily, they've already won. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best way to get revenge on a bad person is not to be like them. Think about that. When someone insults you, and you respond with the same aggression, who is really in control of the situation? It's no longer you, it's that person who is controlling your emotions. Silence, in this case, becomes a demonstration of power. It shows that your mind is not dependent on the words of others. You refuse to give them control of your inner balance. This doesn't mean accepting disrespect. It means choosing the right time and the right way to act, rather than reacting in anger. Emotionally intelligent people understand one essential thing. Every reaction is a form of energy. Why give that energy away, for free, to someone who only seeks to destabilize you? The second situation is when you are in the throes of anger. Under the influence of anger, the brain prioritizes emotion over reason. Words become faster than thoughts, and it is precisely these words that we then regret for years. How many families have been torn apart by a single sentence spoken in anger? How many friendships have ended because no one chose to be silent for a few moments? Marcus Aurelius reminded us that a person should never be a slave to their emotions. Those who master their anger possess a strength far greater than those who dominate others. When you feel anger rising, silence becomes your greatest ally. Breathe, step away if necessary. Wait until your mind is clear before speaking. Words spoken in calm build up. Words spoken in anger almost always destroy. And it is precisely this ability to wait before responding that distinguishes wise people from impulsive ones. The third situation where silence is a true strength is when you begin to succeed. Many believe that success must be announced to everyone. They talk about their projects before they even begin. They share their ambitions, ideas, and goals at every opportunity. Yet the more you publicize your projects, the more you expose yourself to criticism, jealousy, and people who will, consciously or unconsciously, try to discourage you. Marcus Aurelius knew that actions speak louder than words. He didn't need to convince others that he was a great leader. His decisions spoke for themselves. Let your results speak louder than your promises. A tree makes no noise while it grows, but everyone notices its grandeur when it has grown immense. The fourth situation is when someone absolutely refuses to understand. There is a difference between a person who seeks the truth and a person who only seeks to be right. The first is listening. The second is simply waiting for their turn to speak. You can bring the best arguments in the world, but if the other person refuses to listen, you're wasting your time and energy. Silence is sometimes the wisest response. Not every discussion is worth winning. Some aren't even worth having. The wise choose their battles. The impulsive want to win every argument. Always ask yourself, can this conversation actually change things? If the answer is no, then your silence is worth far more than 1,000 explanations. The fifth situation concerns rumors. When people talk behind your back, your first instinct is probably to defend yourself. That's human nature, but every justification often gives even more visibility to the criticism. Rumors thrive on the reactions of those they target. Silence, coupled with exemplary behavior, almost always ends up revealing the truth. People who truly know you will observe your actions, not the words of others. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that your reputation depends less on what others say than on how you choose to live. Don't let outside opinions define your worth. Keep moving forward. In time, truth possesses a power that lies can never match. The sixth situation is when you listen to someone who is suffering. We often feel the urge to immediately offer advice, yet most people aren't looking for an instant solution. They're first looking for someone who will genuinely listen. Silence then becomes a gift. By letting the other person express themselves without interruption, you offer them a space where they can share their fears, hurts, and emotions. The best leaders, the best friends, and the best partners aren't those who talk the most. They are those who know how to listen attentively. Your silence can sometimes heal more than the most eloquent speeches. Finally, here is the seventh situation, undoubtedly the most important. Remain silent when your ego demands to have the last word. The ego hates to lose. It always wants to prove that it is smarter, stronger, or more competent. But each time you feel this irresistible urge to respond one last time, ask yourself this question: am I seeking the truth or simply feeding my pride? Marcus Aurelius teaches us that true power begins when we stop trying to control the opinions of others. You don't need everyone to agree with you to be right. You don't need to respond to every criticism. You don't need to convince those who refuse to understand. Silence is not an escape. Silence is sometimes proof that you have become greater than the conflict itself. Remember these 7 situations: when you're provoked, when anger rises, when you succeed, when a discussion is pointless, when faced with rumors, when someone needs to be heard, and when your ego wants to have the last word. If you learn to master these moments, you will discover an inner peace that very few people know. As Marcus Aurelius said, "We have the power to control our minds, but never the power to control external events." And it is precisely this inner mastery that makes the difference between a life dominated by emotions and a life guided by wisdom. If this video made you think, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share in the comments which of these 7 situations is the most difficult for you. Your experience can help others who are going through the same challenges. And above all, never forget this: the most powerful people are not those who speak the loudest, but those who know exactly when silence is their greatest strength.